Hello, good evening. This is the BBC. No.
BBC.
You know what? How is everyone? Yeah, we've been away.
Summertime madness.
Yeah, me getting all black in that. You know what I mean? Black beast in that.
Our skin became color, color became race, and race became power. The creation of the Caucasian, white Aryan. It's the story of how white became Americans.
We had to be away because castings and
Life.
trying to get your life together. And not, we don't like the word trying. We're getting our life together while we're still here.
Don't watch the top lip sweat and all of that.
Yeah,
The sun's really crack-a-lacking today.
yeah, the Whitney Houston top lip sweat. So how's everyone been? I think that we need to finish up on a few things. I mean, I will still talk about history in the as and when I feel to. We feel like switching it up a little bit, but we will talk about, I spoke to you about the Molinglians, because I don't think I've been saying your name right.
Probably not.
Here's the thing. You know what racism really is? It is basically your argument is about whether you can produce melanin or not. Do you know that that's what
Pure
we're
delusion.
Do you know that's what we're arguing about? Shall I explain why? You know, like when you go to a shop, like what's some adverts they show you? You get the swatch, is that what they call it, of colours from black all the way down to beige.
Oh, the spectrum.
Yeah, the spectrum. That's what we all are. And I know there's all the different arguments, and we showed that video of that guy that says 2 aliens came down and they left a strand of hair, and when the scientists did the experiments on the hair, they said, yeah, it wasn't from Earth. And it did have traces of Asian and Indo-European.
Okay.
We'll put that
Go
video
there.
up there so you can go and watch it. Here's the thing, alright, so we've mentioned him quite a few times, and if people would just go and read one book, the whole argument would be done out. So I'll mention him again. T.H. Huxley. Thomas Huxley, affectionately known as Darwin's bulldog. So Darwin was the one that came up with the theory of evolution, that we come from a monkey and all of that stuff. And anyway, even in that argument itself, then black people were here first.
Period.
Fine, I'll be a monkey if that's what
And
you
that's
want.
your science.
That's your science. So everybody that says England, because I found something the other day,
Yeah.
and it was of a place in Scotland. I'll put it up, and I don't know if he's the mayor of Scotland, but what he decided that he's going to take down this plaque which had a black man in the sea with a knife, and then there was a ship in the background, almost like
Trying
cartoonish.
to come
Well,
to the land.
what he said was that it had connotations to slavery, and actually people contested this as no, don't change it. But you see, when people do these things, what they're actually doing is hiding the history and hiding the truth,
Very true.
because that person is called is it Black Graham, because he was black and he's black in the picture, and then other things they've made him white. We existed, we were kings and queens and servants, if you want to call them. We were here, we were always here. Your science says we were here. So everyone that says England white, it's not true. It's not true. And if you read the Huxley files, he says, and I've read it to you in a video, and I will put that video up again. It's for you to go and watch it. He says that England was black, either wholly or in part. Most of part of England was black, and they were here for a long time. And if you look at the Ordovician period, that was part of it. So the thing about racism and white people being superior, that came in the late 1800s.
It's just all delusion, because even when we were walking through the library today and they're putting up like,
Oh yeah.
little pictures of us from maybe 18th century and
Yeah.
previously,
That we were here.
that we were here, and it's like we've always been here, but you've put your history at the forefront to make it seem like we didn't exist, or we didn't have royalty, or we didn't come from anywhere.
But even that, you know, the American Revolution, I've put that book before and I'll put it up again.
Yeah.
This book says, and the people that have written this book are renowned white people, historians, that said they were going to sue the BBC and certain channels that put out footage saying that the American Revolution was fought by white people. It never was.
Yeah, exactly.
They were all black armies.
I mean, look at the war that we had with Ukraine and Russia, and they were trying to get the Africans to fight for them.
Yeah, and
these times you're always like using us till this day for slavery, and like abusing us in shops or just in any country. We can't do anything. We can't walk about. We can't have families or integrate because you don't like black people. You don't like.
But you saying that, first of all, right? This whole thing about the Ukraine, I only became aware of the connection between the Ukraine and Nigeria through a certain somebody, African.
Yeah.
And I said, why have you got an embassy for Ukraine there? And I said, that's interesting. But what a lot of people don't realise is that just like the French went to certain parts of Africa, Brazil,
Haiti.
even like the fact that Latinas are called Latin Americans because Indigenous Americans are black. And like I've said, I was looking them up today. They escaped me, I'll mention it next time, but they've always, these group of people have always been around, and they've been black then and they're black now, and in fact they're still fighting now because settlers till this day are coming to the part of North America and trying to take over the land. And one woman who was speaking, I'll put a piece up, her child got shot in the head.
Really?
Yeah, because the English are still going to these countries which apparently were white, and they want to take over everywhere. So you know, we're thinking, oh, this is the past and it's all stopped. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't ended. And this is why people are still racist, because they're not aware that this whole racist thing was brought together in the late 1800s. That's why Huxley and all them man and Darwin, they had their hand in the Bible, and they liked the racist depiction of, you know, when they talk about the Adamites and the pre-Adamites.
Yeah.
Pre-Adamites were black and beastly, black beasts.
Big black beasts.
So they're even telling you we were always here.
Yeah.
What they did was, because all the other stuff that they used to control the people wasn't working anymore, they said, oh, what can we use? So they said, oh, racism, skin tone and all of that. Because they did it amongst black people as well. That's why you get some black. I've been somewhere where one girl said, her mum said, not to trust dark-skinned people because she's red. Don't bring a dark-skinned husband home.
Shut up.
Proper foolish. So if you think this racism, colorism thing, I'm sorry, I keep looking over there looking for my child. Oh yeah, only exists amongst white people. It doesn't, because it's a whole ideology, and obviously you got the house and the field slave, and I'm better, and that's why mixed race people think they're better. It's all nonsense. But so what they did was they used race, and I'd look up Bacon's Rebellion, where blacks and whites fought each other, because what people don't know is that the first slaves were white, and Thomas Jefferson had a lot of them in his farm. If you look at his pictures, all them white people in the fields and in the houses, just like when they had the workhouses for the little white kids. It was a form of slavery. And because you've had this ideology thinking that you're superior, you didn't even clock, you were slaves.
It's all delusion.
Yeah.
It's all delusion and propaganda. Like.
So what happened with the Bacon's Rebellion is blacks and whites fought together, and we've shown you also a place called Africa in America. And we showed you that before, where they fought. So what they did was they made it against the law. They said it was miscegenation of the races, so that they could control raping black people, so that they controlled the lineage. And that's why you got all these Native Americans and American Indians thinking that they're indigenous when they're not. You know, and all these classifications are given to all of us. Even the classification of being white, and I'll put that book up again, you know, the abolition of slavery and in West Virginia, and its racial legacy, making the Indian white. that was the classification white wasn't for white people, it was for them.
Exactly.
And then we've also shown you all the white people coming over on the ships, which just shocked people. Like,
Just what I was saying, my friend was talking about, I think she's Polish. She was saying how us as Jamaicans while we're fighting together on planes in the wars for England
yeah, we were there.
and Germany.
Do you know what? I found somebody's channel a couple of weeks back, and I must go and search him
But
out
no one
again.
would know that.
Yeah, he had a whole video, and I don't think I finished it. I'm going to find it of a historian that shows all the video footage of the whites and black Germans all fighting together
Yeah.
around the time of Adolf Hitler. But we already know, I put you up a little piece and said, when the truth comes out, Adolf did say,
He was trying to warn.
yeah, he did say what the truth was, and I know people see him as a baddie, but I think they've painted not the full picture in regards to that. Well, not I think, I know.
But how? What scheme? What deception? In 1681, white will appear in a legal document for the first time in history when Virginia bans Africans from marrying whites, separating the races. Blacks across the colonies will be enslaved for life, no longer treated as human, but as property. Poor whites were handed the whip